Parents, does your year 11 or 12 studying standard math give up when they hit the hard math questions? The chances are they've probably been taught to memorize answers and not problem solve for themselves. So give me 5 minutes and I'll show you the simple 3-step method that we use so that your child can approach any tough math question and stop getting stuck and start working it out for themselves. And if you comment problem below, I'll send you my video breaking down the hardest HSC standard math problems using this exact step. For those who don't know me, my name is Andrew Malcolm. I'm the founder of ACM Tuition, and in 2020, I came first in New South Wales for standard math. And I've been helping hundreds of students go from struggling to scoring at band 6, all by changing the way they study. And in every single video I post, I give you one actionable tip that your team can use to get a band 6 in HSC Standard Mathematics. So in this video, I'm going to show you the simple 3-step method that students use to tackle the hard questions without getting stuck. So the problem we need to solve is right now that your child gets stuck when they hit the hard questions and they freeze. The solution or just skip it entirely without actually knowing how to solve it. And so most students flip back to the textbook and they just copy the answer and move on just to tick the box with the teacher. But they're not understanding the actual process of finding the final number. And, it's not working because just copying the answer doesn't teach you how to think in the exam. In the exam, when the numbers change or the questions phrased differently from what they've been practicing, right, they can blank out. So here's the exact method I use to teach students when they're stuck, right? The first question is, what do I know from the question? Right. So let's say you come up against a trigonometry question, right? And you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to solve this question, right? You should be thinking, all right, what do I know? I know that in trigonometry, we have SOHCAHTOA, we have the sine rule, cosine rule, tan rule. What else do I know, right? I know Pythagoras theorem. And then you just see, what can I apply to the question that I actually know? What concepts, what formulas, what equations, what textbook information can I apply to that question to get the mark? The second thing is the question always gives you hints. So when you're reading a question, all you can see is numbers on the page, right? It might be a really, really question, but you'll see a specific number on the page. Maybe trigonometry, it says AB equals to 3, or the area of this triangle equals to 5. If that's the case, then they've already given you a hint that you maybe have to start off with that number. So you use what you know and you apply it to the question, right? Area equals 5. What do I know about the area? Maybe I know the area formula, right? Area equals half AB times sine C, for example, right? And you just apply that to the question. The last one is, how do I get 1 mark? And this is so important because often when students tackle questions, they think, oh, this is too hard. I don't understand how to do the full step, the full picture. And what they really should be focusing on is, how do I get 1 mark? What can I do to make sure that I get this at least 1 mark from the question? And once they get that 1 mark, everything flows from there, right? Maybe it's trigonometry, right? Maybe they can use, basic Pythagoras theorem and they can solve the bottom side of a triangle, right? Okay, they've done that. Maybe they've gotten 1 mark, right? But let's see what else you can do with that number. Can you use that number now and apply it to tan rule and maybe, apply it to another edge of the triangle, right? And this is applying just, how do I get 1 mark? Everything just builds up on there. And by the end of the question, you've at least gotten 1 mark instead of just staring at the page and just skipping. All right, so this works because it trains students how to think through problems step by step. So when they face a question they haven't seen before in the exam, right, they can focus on how to approach it, right? It's not about memorizing, it's about understanding how to target the question, right? And if you think this was helpful, comment problem below and I'll send you a video breaking down the hardest HSC questions using this exact method, right? 5 questions that we've done and I just show you how I think through questions when I attempt it. Right? So instead of staring at the answers, hoping that it makes sense for them, they'll be able to follow a proven process without getting stuck, and then it just builds their learning so that they can really solve them themselves, right? So let me know if this is useful. If you need anything, make sure you comment below or just send me a DM. See if I can help.